What's up, everybody? This is episode 28 of the Pitside podcast. This week we have got none other than Fast Lane Snook's going to join us and sit down in a little bit. If you're not familiar with Lane, he's a pretty young guy. He's extremely talented both in the iRacing world and the real world. So we're going to sit down and talk to him in just a few minutes. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Pitside Podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the G-Force Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Now here's your hosts, the A-Lit Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bassman Craig.
Yeah, so we're back here again this week. You might notice that both Roger and I are looking a little bit brighter than normal. There's been a lot going on at the beginning of the season so far, so podcast scheduling has gotten a little bit trickier, and we're doing this on a Saturday afternoon, and so both of us sitting right next to a window, maybe should have applied a little sunblock to get started here.
But we want to get into this interview that we've got with the Fast Lane alien Snook. Just crazy. The interview is done Wednesday right after his total domination, the Triple Crown. He won every bloody race he was in. He's won 5 of the 6 Wednesday night races now, and it's certainly, he owns the town. He's the mayor of the town or whatever because he's dominating. But we want to get into it because it's a great interview. We weren't sure because he's actually kind of shy, and I think he came out of his shell and he did a great job.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Let's jump over and talk to Lane
Yeah.
now.
So I'm going to start this out by saying, our league, it's been around for a couple of years now. We got lots of members. The average age of our league is like 38 years old. We have the retreads. We've got like 14 guys that are 60 years plus. And tonight we have the youngest guy in the league, 12-year-old Fast Lane Snook, who just kicking everybody's butt. And it's great with the league that, we've got 70-year-old, we got a 78-year-old guy, but like we all get along great. And but Lane has just been spanking us lately. My God, it's just we just come off the track from Hometown Heroes. The kid won them all, and we're talking fixed sets. Lane, welcome to the show, buddy. You're just blowing us away here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on it.
So I have to ask because I don't recall because I finished at the back of pretty much every Hometown Heroes race we've had so far. Don't nod, that's not funny. So you, if I'm not mistaken, last week the opening night you won 2 out of 3, correct?
Yeah.
So right now you're 5 out of 6 in Hometown Heroes, which is ludicrous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we've had other fixed setup leagues and nobody's dominated like that.
But it begs the question. Lane, what happened in the 305 race last week? What happened? You didn't win it. What happened?
I was lagging really bad and went quick time in qualifying, then went into turn 1, my screen froze, and then started in the back of a B main and drove up through, got to the lead, ended up finishing second, and then couldn't get anywhere in the feature.
So, now that you said that, I remember that because I remember watching on the broadcast because I did catch the 305 race on the broadcast, and your wreck in your heat was pretty spectacular. It was one for the books for sure.
That's crazy, man. So his screen froze. It's the only race he is probably not 6 for 6. Man, you've been tearing it up. I mean, like you're not. You've been doing really well, but like this is total domination now. Like John Hine has said, he's starting to call you the shark. Like because when Lane's coming up behind you, all you can hear dun dun dun. It's coming. So you should maybe you paint your own cars, don't you?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, Velocity, I guess, has been doing a lot of the ones, but I know you do paint your own car, so maybe you should put a shark fin on there somewhere, because when the guys look at the rear view and see the shark fin, they'll know, okay, here comes Snook. But you've been, I guess you've been, how long have you been with us now? Maybe a year?
Probably around that.
Yeah, so Lane, if you think, Preston, I was thinking about the other day, it goes back. He was the overall champion, I think, 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yep, that's right.
Absolutely, it's crazy. And but I have to say, I mean, you were the overall champion back then. But Lane, your driving's, I know that Brandon Schultz is sort of taking you under his wing, and boy, you've just gone to another level. And you beat Brandon one night too. That was very cool. I enjoyed watching that. That was pretty cool.
So all that being said, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. I know Brandon's pretty heavily involved with Alex Bergeron with his, when he was running the Pro Series. Do you have any aspirations of running the Pro Series? Are you going to try to run through the road to pro?
I'm gonna try it whenever I feel like I'm ready. I think we could wait a couple years still, but I don't know. We'll see.
Why wait? Why wait?
You might be being a little too humble there. You definitely, I don't know. Maybe that's just making myself feel a little bit better. You had a really good run this past Monday too. I know you and I were right there together. Which for me, I'm not usually that far up at the end of the race, but we had a pretty good battle there at the end. And you and Moonen both snaked it past me in the last couple laps, or maybe the very last lap.
Yeah. I saw Moonen was running the top in that, and he went right around me, and I just followed him past you and Kirky. And I really got Kirky at the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a close one.
You upset Croaky, I think, because he posted the next day. He showed that finish, and it was like, boy, I don't know what you won by, but it must have been like 0.0001.
2,000ths.
Yeah, it's 2,000ths of a second.
And poor Matt, he won a Renegades race, but that was his first win in Renegades, and I think he was running so good. He led that race for so long, and then you just come and just take it away from him. So that was good. So anyways, I'm looking here. I'm looking at career stats. So Lane has run 174 races. He has 6,677 laps with the G-Force Racing League, and has 27 wins, 82 top 5s, and 111 top 10s. Just incredible, buddy.
Now do yours, Roger. Read yours.
Do you really want me? I could pull it up. I've been on one podium. It starts to tick me off after a while. I sit every week Lane's up there getting interviewed. I've never been interviewed. I have to go on the broadcast on Wednesday nights just so my voice could be heard because I can't get onto the podium.
Yeah.
Didn't you buy a car or something whenever you got a podium?
What's that?
Didn't you buy a car or something whenever you got that podium?
That's great. That's great.
I can't remember what I did.
So I can tell that story. So that was back before. So Lane, if anybody doesn't know, before Lane joined BBR, he ran with the Coast to Coast guys.
Yes, he ran. Yeah.
And so we have a big thread, and we probably talk less about racing than anything. But we were talking to Lane, and so Roger had finished on the podium the night before. He went and if you've seen some of the earlier episodes, he was transporting vehicles for a local car dealership, and yeah. I don't remember what kind of car. It might have been a Vet. I don't remember. You took pictures with a Vet.
Oh, I did take pictures with the Vet.
That's what it was. And so you took pictures with the Vet, and we're joking around. Maybe didn't clarify with Lane enough, so he thought you got a podium and went out and bought a Corvette. So maybe shame on us for not clarifying, but that's pretty funny. So, and I do want to point out, too, I don't recall if Lane was with the league prior to iRacing League Manager, but those stats only encompass the iRacing League Manager era. So there may be some more wins and laps and all that aren't even counted in those stats. So
here's my stats. Are you ready for this, Lane?
Yeah.
270 races. Now, some of those I was just admitting, so it's maybe not as high.
Don't listen.
Wins 0. Top lap. top 5s 13. I've got 13 top 5s. That's almost as many as the 74 or whatever he's got. And
It's
85 top tens. How many top tens did I say you had?
100 and something.
Oh, I thought maybe I had them beat there. Anyways, it's been amazing to watch. But you need to do Road to Pro, and you need to have Brandon spotting for you. And so tell us, because you went. Brandon came to our team and said, I'd like to take Lane under my wing and help him along, and we were all for that because Brandon's a great guy, and we knew he'd make you better than I ever would. So so what has Brandon taught you?
He's taught me a lot. It's definitely made me a lot better. I probably can't even list the amount of things he's taught me. Just stuff with setup and changing the lines for different tracks and stuff like that.
Now, so do you run with them every week, like practice?
We practice sometimes, but most of the time it's just me and Brandon, or maybe Jesse sometimes, or one of the Golden or Moonin or somebody. But every once in a while we'll do some hosted races and stuff.
And so do they spot for you when you're racing?
Every once in a while, if it's like a really big race, and Brandon will spot for me, but I think he's been doing a lot lately, so he hasn't really been around, but that's fine.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
Seems like at least in Hometown Heroes you're doing fine without him too. So
yeah,
I think you're okay.
He is the hometown hero. I told Joe next week I'm not going up in the booth. I'm going down the concession stands and I'm selling Lane Snook shirts. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah. So no, you've been awesome. And so how's the go-karting going, buddy?
I'm 50% in wins right now, so it's going pretty good. It definitely could have been better down south when we went, but I was leading with probably like 2 to go and wrecked both times and didn't finish a race down there and won both of them at Selinsgrove the other day.
So where were you down south?
It was called Fast Racks, I think, somewhere in South Carolina, like on the border of North and South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Geez, Joe could have come up to see you. Joe, that's Joe's area. So, yeah. So, what do you got planned this summer for the track?
Just race as many races as I can. We're going to some bigger ones this year, so that'll be fun.
And so, how many different classes do you run?
Depends what the race is for the age group. We try to run as many as I can. I'm not running the champ card anymore this year, so that won't be as many classes, but I got 2 flat carts, so I think for the state races we're going to run juniors and junior 2, so that'll be fun.
And how far will you go this summer for some events?
I think we're going to go to Missouri in August, which is like 14 hours, I think.
Now that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it probably a lot of competition there too, I guess, eh?
Yeah, I think I can win $10,500.
That's all right.
Yeah, that'll be okay, I guess.
That's better than the prize money from G4 Racing League. That's for sure. So what? So and your brother Trent, right? Trent's your brother. Yeah. I kept getting it mixed up with somebody else. But Trent, and who's racing tonight? You kicked his butt, buddy. You kicked his butt on the track. But and he races, right? I think he races late models or dirt mods or something like that.
Super late models.
Super late models. So what are your aspirations? Like where do you want to see your career go?
I want to run a national tour in the late models. Try to win as many races as I can and have fun.
Well, it's a lot more fun where you are than where I am in those races, at least iRacing. So No, I think that's great, and you're lucky you got a family that supports you like that and take you all over the country, and yeah, that's awesome. So, how about school? What's happening with school these days? Like, are you homeschooling? Are you at school? What happens?
I go to school from Monday through Thursday and online Friday, but they're talking about for the next marking period go all 5 days.
Going all 5 days? So
Yeah.
no matinee races for you then.
I guess not. I wish I can run them, but I guess I won't be able to.
Maybe Roger can bump that goose egg up to a 1 or 2 now.
Well, I'm working on it, but I've come close but no cigar, so we'll see what happens. But when I see Lane show up, it's just like everybody else. Well, I'm racing for second, But so here's what I'm having trouble figuring, man. So let's go back to the Renegades. You're racing Renegades, and that was your first. You just won your first Renegades race, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
But he was pumped, man.
Oh yeah, I did too. Too. I would have never guessed it was your first win though, because you've been up front so much. I mean, I guess it's just been a lot of podiums with no wins then.
Yeah, I was looking at the point standings there, and I was like, I'm really close to them without winning a single race. And
yeah. So that had to be cool beating Brandon.
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've beat him, like in a significant race anywhere?
I think so.
That's yeah, I enjoyed that night. So before you go tonight, we got to see it. You got to show it to us. Where's your piece of paper?
Right here.
Yeah.
That's it. I pictured a great big sheet of paper or something.
I got it on both sides.
Both sides.
I'll never forget. Now, I think it was probably a bigger piece of paper, but it was the first race we ran together. So Lane brought his sponsors, right? And then we were working with Kreitz at the time, or we had just started, and so we gave Lane our list of sponsors. And I will never forget, we got to laughing so much after the fact. He did his interview, and you hear him pause, you hear the paper flip over, and he keeps on reading. And it was absolutely hysterical. I don't think anybody else noticed, but Lane was real tickled about it, so we got to laughing. It was really funny.
So give us okay, here's the challenge. I mean, the kid's winning everything, right? We got to challenge him at something. Okay, Lane, put the piece of paper down. And thank all your sponsors. Looking at the steering wheel.
Alright, Vanderbilt Racing, Brandon Jesse, Steven Goldner, Moonin, Fitzy JP, their Dr. Trucking, Wegman Brothers, Powerhouse Motorsports. I'm forgetting somebody. You guys for the broadcast, you guys for putting it on for the league, Universal Settlement Service, Keystone Alliance, KKP, Keys Recording Products, Fox's Pizza Den, Jack on Howard Associates, The Old Hatchery, Mexico Ridge Beef Farm, Snook Dirt Designs, and I think I'm missing one.
If you're missing one,
we
didn't notice.
That's a great job, buddy. I thought maybe I could catch him on something, but that's awesome, buddy. You're just you've said it enough times that you should have it memorized by now. But good God, it's just about every night. But the Hometown Heroes. So how are you liking the Hometown Heroes? Well, that's a stupid question.
I mean, I'm sure he hates it.
Oh yeah. Anyways, it's just been you've been just putting on an awesome show. I mean, like I said it already again, but they're all fixed. And I mean that we had the dirt. When's the last time you ran a Dirt Legend?
I don't know. Probably like last year.
Yeah. So did you just get in the car tonight and run?
Yep.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Not fair. Not fair. So I got one issue I'm upset about. Okay, so I think it was Joe asked you about the sim rig. Is it like karting? And you said does it help? And you said no. And that crushed us all, like we figured that crushed. But don't you find that like your skills are transferring obviously from one to the other? I mean, you're winning in both. You got to have the best twitch muscles or whatever it is. I don't know, or what part of your brain works, but I mean, it's just been awesome. I know I had Dylan Westbrook, who's like one of the Canada's top sprint drivers. I don't know if you've heard of Dylan, but he runs the ASCS Tour Rookie of the Year last year, and I had him in the basement, and he said, other than the G-force in that, it's like the view, and it's a lot like being in the car. And then you come on and say, nah, it's nothing like the car. It's totally different.
I think it would work if there was any other car, like a big car.
Okay, that's your
parts are nothing like this.
Now, there's a question. Do you have any aspirations of ever getting into sprint cars?
No.
No?
I'm not allowed.
It's kind of like that cartoon I saw the guys were passing around where the guy was talking about we work hard, we build the best car we can, we go to the track and find the dumbest guy and put a helmet on him and put him in the sprint car because anybody else would be nuts to do it. But go ahead.
Yeah, my understanding, I think Trent finished really well at Port last season, and so you guys both obviously are into racing. But outside of you two, you've got a pretty good racing pedigree in your family, right?
Yeah, my mom used to race, my aunt used to race, my dad races, my cousin races. My pap used to race before I was born, then he died. The mom.
So I think I hear somebody chiming in the background.
Yeah.
So have you watched your mom race?
No.
Oh.
She quit before I was born.
Yeah, did she win championships and stuff?
No.
Uh-oh.
No? Uh-oh.
Mom, did you win a race?
Oh.
What? Oh. She won a tractor race.
Well, that counts.
It's more than I've won, so.
Yeah, that counts, yeah. Yeah, we should get we're trying to get more women on the track. We should get your mom out one night and race. Don't you think?
That would be scary.
Well, we got ladies' night coming up and the Hometown Heroes, so maybe your mom could race that night. You'll probably won the championship by then.
Hopefully.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my standard question.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about those.
And I'm going to split it into two because I have a second half to this question. But in the G-Force Racing Leagues, who would you say is your biggest rival? And that doesn't necessarily mean somebody you've crashed into or somebody's crashed into you a lot or somebody that you don't like, but just your rival, however you define that.
Probably the hardest person to beat's probably Brandon when he runs, and Moon and Goldner are pretty good.
I was going to say I would expect that to be some of your teammates because, for one, you find yourselves around each other pretty frequently, and you guys are competing on a very similar level. So that doesn't surprise me.
They find themselves on the podium all the time together.
Well, that's true. I'm just kind of trying to save my own face here, so But anyway, so the second half to my question. Now, if you don't want to mention a name, but there's somebody, that's fine. But in your karting, I know you probably are seeing a lot of the same guys every week. Do you find that there's one? Do you have like a rival in your kind of Pennsylvania karting scene?
Not really. Just kind of go there and race. We're all friends, really.
Yeah.
Just not friends on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and that's what you expect. That's what you expect. That's that's the only way you can win.
So my question is, and I'll have two parts to it too. Your most memorable moment in iRacing?
It's either that first Renegades win or the time I finished third, the Cole Cabri and David Halliman in that Super Bowl race.
Oh yeah, so that was actually a race, and I mentioned that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch the podcast frequently, but we talked about that because Terry and I were in that race too, and you were smoking them. You were the only one. There were five guys in the top five, or four of the top five were pro drivers, and you were smack dab right in the middle of them. So we were all. You weren't on our team anymore at that point, but I was like a proud dad. I was so happy for you. It was really cool.
I thought I was going to get Holloman at the end.
I did too.
He had the tackiness on the bottom and pulled me down the straightaway.
Yeah.
Well, and there's your sign right there. You should be running that road to pro, man, because when you can hang with those guys, that's really something. So then the second part of the question is in your whole. So I remember talking to Connor about all the guys in the race were 5 times older. So now I can say some guys are 6 times older than him. But in your whole 12 years of your life, what's the most exciting on-track moment?
Either first state race win or my first ever win. And there's one more that I can't remember of. But my first race, I went out in hot laps and did a double backflip when I hit the fence. And then came back and won the heat in the feature. So,
how old were you then?
Maybe 6 or 7.
Good gosh.
So you started racing when you were 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question. Is there a game plan here? Like you're 12, your brother's in a car on the track. Is there a point when you'll be? The plan is to put you in a real car?
My dad has 2 crate motors for me, so we're planning on putting some laps in here soon.
Awesome.
So are you talking this season, maybe?
Whenever I get big enough, I'm not very big.
Well, we had Tanner Van Doren in the league, right? You kind of came in when Tanner left, and Tanner's been ripping up the dirt mods.
Yeah.
And maybe he's 14 now. So, but yeah. So you've got the okay from the parents to get into the car?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So you gotta let us know when that's happening, and put some posts. We'll get it on the G-Force Lounge, and and I'll go down the concession booth and start selling the T-shirts. So it's that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you got any other questions, Preston? It's getting close to his bedtime, so I don't want to, get him in trouble with his mom or nothing.
That's messed up, Roger. But no, I don't have any more questions anyway.
No, there's a bunch of guys tonight wishing his bedtime was, 9 o'clock or something, that he wouldn't have been in that last race.
That's for sure.
So, the one thing I just got to say is, and we have, like I say, we have guys that are like 78, 74, average age 38. We all get along, and the odd time, and I know when getting official races, you get kids in there, and it's, oh my God, just shut up. And I have to say, you are a true gentleman, buddy, and I think everybody respects you in the league, and that says a lot about who you are, and it's a credit to your parents. They've brought up a great young man, and we can't wish you nothing but great success. We want you to stay in the league. We don't want you to win every race. But we're going to put you back. So that's where the hot shoe rule. He's won 2 features in a row. So he's going to the back next week, buddy.
If I recall correctly, the hot shoe rule might be gone this season, though, right? Wasn't that removed?
Well, that's all the other leagues, maybe, but not Hometown Heroes. I think if we still want to bring fans into the seats, we got to put them at the back and we got to make something challenging for us.
Yeah.
For him, like he's just killed, with a fixed setup. He's got the same setup as everybody else. Like there's no rockets going on here. It's just it's what's called driving skill. So I can understand with a guy like me, my reflexes are kind of a little bit slow, but not all the other guys. And it's amazing. And want to thank you for coming on. And it's and that's a great step up, because I know Preston met you in the summer and said you were super shy, and I think you've done a great job here in this interview, and we look forward to seeing more of you. And just thanks for being part of the league, buddy.
Yeah, man. As much talent as you've got in iRacing, I think you got every bit of that plus quite a bit more in the real world. So you'll have the support of the league whenever you get in a cart, and then when it's finally in late models, we're pulling for you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I've been figuring I was gonna get invited to do this actually, and I've been kind of looking forward to it, and it's been fun.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll have you back too. Maybe after you've won, another 5 races or something.
We couldn't have picked a better night, though, eh? Like, the kid comes off, just total domination. I mean, if there was a race to the hot dog stand, he probably would have won that tonight, too. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, and just so everybody knows, we were going to interview all 3 winners tonight, and now we have. So here we go.
And I'd let him thank his sponsors now, but he's already done that, and he didn't use a piece of paper. So that's cool.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome back anytime, and hopefully I can spot you from the back of the pack next Wednesday.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me.
Certainly.
Yeah. Take it easy, buddy.
So that was a lot of fun with Lane. It was good catching up with him. I think we mentioned in part of the interview how he was on Roger and I's team for a little while, and he's moved on and to bigger and better things with Bandy. And that's one thing. Like when he was on our team, he was good. He was winning a lot of races, but you can really tell working with Brandon how much he's stepped up his game. He picks his spots a lot better now, and the wins are really starting to roll in. And I think it's all just starting to come together for him.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this offline after that we were talking about he should be running Road to Pro, and he says, yeah, maybe in a few years. And it was then you came back and said, like, I don't think he's eligible yet. Like, I think you got to be 14 to do that. So, like, by the time he gets there, man, as long as he sticks to iRacing, he's just going to be like totally. He's going to be right up there with Bergeron in that, seriously, because he's dominant.
Yeah, he really is. And so, Brandon Schultz, if you're watching this, if you have any desire of taking me under your wing, you can feel free. No, but I think really, if anything keeps Lane from Road to Pro by the time, I don't know what the age limit is. I think it may even be 16. I'm not sure. But by the time he gets there, I think the only thing that'll stop him is if he's in a big car, at Port Royal or something, and it just won't be worth the time.
No, so, that's I was thinking the same thing. He might be in the real world doing dominating or whatever. So he has just got the skills, like the legend cars. He just jumped in and he dominated there, and just like he has some unbelievable talent, that's for sure, and a great kid. He's been a great kid. I love the list. I pictured a big piece of paper. I didn't think it would be that little.
I think it's gotten condensed over time. I actually meant to ask him that, but I think he started off with like a big printout, and I think he's condensed it now.
You can hear it turn over.
Yeah,
you can hear it. So that's pretty funny. But hey, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. We could talk all day about Hometown Heroes. It's just the numbers are. I thought there'd be a drop off last week, and it was embarrassing in a way for me as the promoter or the setup guy. The 305s, the B main had there was 22 cars in the B main, and I got to explain that for a minute. And I'll try to explain it maybe on that show, but because we will make a change. But the issue is if you only say 12 or 14 or 16 cars go in a B main, then if there's and I don't know how the algorithm works for iRacing in the background, but a lot of times it's just not iRacing's fault. But say that there's going to be 6 guys in the C main, 6 guys could have disconnected, maybe because it got frustrated. So now you got nobody. And I think we had that a long time ago with one of the Ovens broadcasts or something. Nobody showed up, and basically now it just sits there, and you have to start a new. It's a disaster for the broadcast.
Yep.
There's other times when you might only have 2 cars or 1 car, and it's a couple more laps than the normal race. So, but I think we'll take a stab at it and just hope we don't get that 0. Even if it's 1 car going around, it'll be an opportunity for us to talk about what's coming up next week, or use it for advertising or whatever. But that's the issue. So I've always traditionally just the B main. If it's 45 cars. So it is 45 cars. There's 5 races up to, so it would mean that 4 transfer each race, and then there's still 4 spots left over for
for the B-man.
For the feature to qualify.
Yeah.
So what I do is, if 45, it could be as many as 45, 20 have qualified. So I make it 20. That B main can have 25 cars, and it's that on most nights it's 6, 8.
Right.
I think I saw 18 once, but like 22. So that was bad. 22 going for 4 spots, and the guys. There's a lot of wrecks and stuff, but everybody's going for it. We kind of bring that on ourselves. So I'll try to fix that. We'll get better as we go along.
Also, along the lines of the hometown here is just something to mention. Make sure if you're running in any of those, because it is broadcast from start to finish. It's not like other nights where we have a 7 and an 8 o'clock and then the 9 o'clock's broadcast. This is broadcast from 7 o'clock until the 4:10 race or the 9 o'clock session is over. And throughout the night, drivers are being interviewed, and it's not necessarily somebody who won. It may be a pole sitter or somebody who got in a bad wreck or whatever the case might be. But you want to make sure you're in Discord, because everybody pretty much has the opportunity to be interviewed. So I know you were pulling people this past week, and it was kind of sparse. And on some nights that's okay, it doesn't matter. But on Wednesday it's super important that you're there, because you can get some screen time. And I know like the guys that are working on pulling those interviews are trying to spread them around. So it's not like if you're showing up in Discord, we're going to do our best to get you in there at some point.
Yeah, like it's one of the rules of the league that you have to be in our Discord channel. So and there's a few guys that they'll show up for the interview, but they weren't in there. It's a little frustrating. But there's a lot of guys now, especially the newer guys, aren't in the Discord channel. So, and I'll be honest, that's who I'm trying to target. Like there's guys like me, I'm not trying to bring people down, but there's guys like me who never got on a podium. You've never been interviewed, for one of the broadcasts. So really, I'm going to be, we have the thing called the bookends that we do at intermission, the first and the 24th guy. But the first place guys usually, they're all the top runners. But we want to focus a lot of it on the guys that never get the recognition, that show up every night, and they make the show what it is because they're all showing up and racing. And we want to give them, coverage and a little bit of love here. So we really encourage everybody to get into Discord, and that's what happened last week. Like there was one guy, I won't mention his name, but I wanted to talk to the 24th place guy, and he's not there. And I look for the next one, he's not there. Okay, so now what do? I'm grabbing you or Shorty or somebody I know they're in there, and I know where they are. So it's because you got to be moving pretty quick. So
right.
And it's a little disrupting for the driver for sure, because all of a sudden he could be talking to a buddy, and the next thing he's in a waiting room. But that's part of this thing. So give you your 15 seconds of glory or whatever you call it. But
yeah.
It's been going great, man. It's just we're learning. There's a few things I think we're going to drop the pick the podium because we're not getting a great response. I'll be honest. I thought we'd get more, but I think what happens, Preston, is I've been looking at the live views and they're not that high. But then by the end of but 2 days later, the numbers are up in the hundreds. Mm-hmm. So I think most people watch it after the fact. So that's why we're not getting the responses during the broadcast. So we can modify stuff a little bit, and we'll get better at it. But Hometown Heroes and it sounds everybody's loving it. I think so. It's been a winning formula, better than I think we even suspected.
Yeah, and I'll say I found it to be extremely competitive. And I think we've seen that then tensions have started to rise a little bit, which we have to, through the means of the review committee and, penalties and just general, if something's going on, we'll pull you aside and have a conversation. Doesn't have to be, tense, but those things are going to happen. We understand that there's going to be some of that stuff that's just got to be managed, but that's what we expected out of a Hometown Hero series, right? So it's supposed to be like you're seeing the same guys at the same track every week. And but personally, I've had 2 pretty poor weeks. Haven't had any races that went really well. I've had some moments of pretty competitive racing, but by the end of the event, I'm at the back. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it, which is a nice change that I can get out and run, and it almost reminds me of a hybrid between back when we used to run like our Sunday night, like just for fun division, and Mondays, and it's like this hybrid where we've still got kind of that friendly, fun atmosphere. We're doing throwback stuff, but the intense competition at the front of the pack is still there, if you can keep up with Lane, right? So, I mean, it's a new formula, and I've been just kind of feeling it out as we go too. But it seems like it's working. I mean, we're only 2 weeks in, so we could have be having virtual fistfights by next week. But we'll see.
And at the same time too, we've got everybody's welcome to run it. Anybody's in the league can run it, and so you got a big variance in skill levels, but it's not as big as it used to be, man. Like, they've been pretty competitive racing and good, for the most part, good clean racing. Especially with the numbers, like, it's been great. So hopefully we can keep it up, because it's a lot of fun to do. That's for sure. It's fun being in the booth and just watching this stuff. So it's can't wait. And so just moving on from that, we just got off the track this morning with something you and I were just like, I think a lot of drivers, like Bristol in the dirt with these cup cars that handle like a piece of crap, and we thought it would be a total disaster. Now, I think we had, I don't know, what do we have, 4 or 5? It was set up with unlimited green-white checkers, and some guys were worried they were going to miss supper.
We got to the third one and got it finished after the third one.
Okay, I wasn't sure we did 4, but you know what? Overall, we were talking during the race. Like, I know there was cautions, but we knew that. Well, there's always cautions at Bristol, right? I mean, Bristol's Bristol,
right?
So, but I was really, really impressed with the way the guys drove. For the most part, everybody drove within themselves, and I thought it'd be a caution right from lap 1, and I think we only had one caution the first 15 or 16 laps.
We got to 16 before we had our second, I think. I mean, it was good. I know, it was going into it. There's to me, like, the cup cars on Bristol Dirt, they just don't work well. Like, I just think iRacing has kind of missed something. And I had put some practice laps in, and I was able to keep the car under me, but I mean, I still wasn't consistent. Like, I felt like I was being consistent, but I was kind of unpredictable what the car was going to do. And then we were practicing, and I was watching guys, loop it, and we had some of that in the race. But overall, I was impressed with everybody's patience. Like, guy, and again, you always have outliers, but guy gets kind of half sideways in front of you, and they would back down rather than just kind of pile driving through it. Now, granted, as the race gets deeper, that always goes away a little bit, because you're looking for hunting those positions a little bit more, and I was very grateful we got that done in the third green-white checker, because I think you hit a point where once you're starting to hit 4 and 5, it looks pretty unlikely that you're going to get one at all, because people are just pushing even harder every time. So it worked out pretty well, and I thought so. Barry Goldner, actually, after the race was over, I thought he had won, but I guess he finished second. And, I mean, it was cool. I was behind him for a good chunk of the race, and it was cool to see him up there. He ran a great race. And you talk about, I mean, it paid off. He was extremely patient. He just kind of, he didn't need to be in the top 5 in the first half of the race. He just ran his race and just made sure he kept his nose clean. And I was right there with him, and then I got kind of tangled up in some stuff. And then I know you were talking to him afterwards. I heard it over the chat, and he had finished on the podium. It was pretty cool.
Hey, you know what? I was probably as happy for him as he was. I was just Barry's a great guy. We spent a lot of time in the back. Not as much for him lately. He's been moving up.
He has.
And he was in P2 before those 4 green whites, and I thought, something's going to happen, right? He had a couple of hungry guys behind him, but he held on. He survived every one of those. And kudos to Barry. It was great. I had made the comment to you near the end of the race. I said, I think they're racing in each other's rigs, because Steve was at the back, Barry was in the front. And I said, I think they're using each other's accounts today or something. But it was that was cool. And another one, a big shout out is Tim Chapman. So that's Zach's dad. He showed up today, and I think he ran pretty good. But it's great to see the father-son combos. You know, there's you, and there's a bunch of them now, and then there's the Moors. We've got at least we should have. Hey, one night we should have a father-son event. Maybe on a Wednesday night, Hometown Heroes. We'll get the Moors, we'll get the Cranmers, we'll get the Goldners and the Chapmans, and there's the Kelches. We'll get Ben to get his old man out, and we'll have a showdown. We'll figure out some sort of rules, and we'll have a showdown. That would be kind of cool.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we'll put some sort of bounty out on it or something. So, but that was cool to see Barry doing really well today, and that series is we had 25 cars today, and that was I thought, and I know a few guys didn't show up because where it was.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I considered it. I'm glad I came out. This division itself. I have at the beginning of the season, I had suspicions that it was going to be really rough, and I mean, because we're dirt guys and we're out there running asphalt and stuff, and it just seemed like a recipe for disaster. We were going to give it a shot, and week after week, it's been much better every single week than I expected. I think the one that went about what I would have expected was Phoenix, and that just at this point just seems like an outlier. Everybody's pretty patient with one another, and the racing's been good. And I can't say enough about if you're into the strategy side of things, the way we run it, with the 50% fuel load, you have to pit pretty much, except for today, which was that a good thing we didn't have to pit. But we've gotten to the point, at least the first two races of the season, we went so far without cautions that you had to green flag pit, and man, did that shake things up. So you could be running mid pack and make the right fuel strategy call and find yourself at the front. So it's been competitive, but extremely laid back. So if you're interested in trying it, but not again, Roger said a bunch of times, if you're looking for a NASCAR league and something's ultra competitive, it's not the place for you. But if you just want to get out and run and have a good time, and I mean, we're running for points. It's a lot of fun.
And and probably more green flag laps than most leagues run. So the guys have just been fantastic, I think, overall.
Yeah.
And it's been great. So next week it's a down week for NASCAR. So we've got a couple of makeup races because we didn't start right away. So it's a Daytona 500. So instead of the normal 50 laps at Daytona, we're talking 75. We could be talked into 100 if there was enough people wanting to do it. But I think 75. It's probably that's about a quarter of the race or whatever. So, and that'll be a long enough day for the old guys having to make their own pit stops. So it should be good. So yeah, it's been a great series. So it's been good. So what else you want to talk about here, buddy?
I don't know. I just it seems like a lot going on, and at the same time, we're kind of hitting into the stride of the season. Week 2 things are starting to, or by the end of week 2, things are typically starting to settle in. We'll start seeing, I guess, points battles that are starting to pop up now. I know in Renegades, Lane and Shorty are both I think it's Lane, are at the top of at the points. They both have one win and have finished pretty well in their other race, so they're both sitting there at the top. And so I think there's going to be Renegades this season, at least so far in the first couple of weeks, has seemed, the competition level has seemed to level out a little bit, where you're not seeing the same guys dominate week after week. And I think some of that is, we've seen a couple of guys fade away a little bit, but it's interesting, and I think this season alone might be a little bit more mixed up throughout the season than we've seen in the past. So I think that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, you're right. Like, we're into this. We're still getting races scheduled and stuff. I mean, there's still the stuff hanging around from trying to get caught up. But now we're and I want to just give a big shout out to all the guys that are helping set up races. So that goes from Bill Calder, who does a lot of the matinee stuff, and Trent Verstraeten's doing the rustlers. Barker's doing the jumpy trucks. He's doing super late models and skippies, and Nathan Aldrich is doing the cup cars. So it's been an immense help. Oh, and John Hines doing the midgets and the pro lates. So I do a Monday and Thursday night, Monday, Wednesday, and no, John's doing Thursdays. So I'm just doing Monday and Wednesdays. So it's been great, and a couple of the matinees. But taking a load off my shoulder. Other guys have been screwing some stuff up. I love seeing that. Everybody else, I just got a smirk on my face. I think it's just not, thank God it's wasn't just me being stupid. It's so easy. It's for those that haven't set up races. It's just one click of a button. And, well, like today, we had unlimited green, white checkers. Just probably Nathan didn't check one thing off. It's so easy to do, and but I enjoy that part of it. So
yeah,
it's been good. But a big shout out to those guys. They've been a super help with all of that. So we got some big things we're planning. We got the charity event this year will be veterans, and I'll just talk about this too because it's not till about week 8 or 9 because we're trying to line it up with Memorial Day. So and what we will just giving people a heads up, we will be asking people, veterans, to record a short video. Just if we would appreciate it if they would. We got the same thing for first responders, where just a short video, who they are, where they served or what they do, and we plan on playing those during the intermission before on those nights. So to the first responders, I've got to admit I've misplaced some of the files. If I get they're probably on Messenger and they're really buried. But I know I've got Gary's and I've got Aiden's, but there's a bunch of other guys that did it, and I feel real bad. They've taken the time to do it, and because we intended to do that last season and never got it done, so we're doing that in a few weeks. So if you're watching this podcast, if you could contact me, just that you sent one, I'll go find it. But I thought I had them all in the one directory, and if I do, I can't find the directory. It's bad on me.
Yeah. So that's one of those things. So those would be cool to see. Like, and I'm assuming when will they play during the show? You said at intermission.
Yeah. So it'll either be just probably during the warm-ups. We'll play those, and then we'll do a 4-wide salute, and might play those during every intermission that night. I mean, when you're talking first responders and when you're talking veterans, they deserve as much acknowledgement as we can give them.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to recognize that. This coming Wednesday, Hometown Heroes is Kids Night, and Lynn's Huggables will be. There will be a draw for a free animal or whatever. I'll show you in a second. And I think we'll say 12 and under. Does that sound about right, Preston? 12 and under?
Yeah,
10 and under?
I would say 12 and under is probably safe.
Yeah, so if you got 3 kids under 12, 3 entries, and we'll have a draw for that. So if I can move over here, I'll just, I don't know if there's some of the, gotta get my chair out of the way. There's some of the stuff, you can't really see it, but the big news is there's a website going up. She's putting a website, or I'm putting a website up. So that'll be kind of the release of that. So they'll all be available to look at. And we're not really pushing them because the shipping fees are, it's almost doubles the price. So it's mostly a local thing. It's not like we're trying to push this to get everybody to buy. But hey, if you like what you see, that's cool. But some kid will win one. And I think what we'd probably do is give them a choice of, whatever's on the website. So there's that. So so that's every week is a new week, and we're looking for some sponsors. So Lynn's Huggables is sponsoring next week, and I'm thinking as long as we got the funds, we want to make sure we got enough funds to pay the broadcasters and stuff. But what we're kind of looking at is if you donate $20 towards the draws, then the night will be named after your company or whatever you want. So if you own a wrap company like Preston, or you have a business or anything, or you just want to donate on behalf of your team or on behalf of yourself, it'll be it could be Autism Awareness Night presented by whatever, and it's like $20. So And it just that money goes back out. So it's not like somebody's trying to make some money here. So
Yeah.
just want to throw that out there because we haven't really been canvassing for that yet, and we should, because I think once that momentum goes and people just want to be a part of the night because it's such a fun night. It's been working out really, really well. And John Hine got in the booth this week, and I had somebody contact us saying they thought it was a professional announcer. So kudos to John, and he did a great job. And I know there's a few others that want to sit in one night. It's just volunteer. We don't get paid. It's a fun time to sit in the booth with Joe. Joe's been very tolerant. I got to give Joe a shout out. He's very tolerant of us. We're trying new things. I'm talking over him when I shouldn't be at times, and he's so polite about it. So but it's a long night for Joe. It's a 3-hour night, and but he's been doing a great job on it. So
yeah,
just
so
keep looking forward to it.
Changing the subject just a little bit.
Yep.
Skippies are in full swing now. This is technically week 3 for them, so tonight is the start of week 3. So constructors championship teams are still not finalized. This is the last week to finalize those teams. So there will be another post. So if you're watching this, go check GeForceRacingLeagues.com and driver communication. It'll be in both. You need to check the salaries if you want to participate in the constructors championship. This is the last week you have to pick your teams. We can't let it go too far into the season, otherwise you end up with guys that have figured out who's going to win them the championship. We're still early enough now that we can handle this, but you need to let me know before the race tonight. Again, there'll be a post out too that'll include the spreadsheet that gives you your driver's salary, or if you don't have a driver's salary from racing a previous season, it also tells you how to calculate what it would be. So you can message the league Facebook page once you've determined that, or you can message me personally, and we'll get that all set up so we have a standings and start getting that dialed in. So we'll have that ready by the end of the season. I know we did have 2 teams last season that, because of their performance, ended up over the salary cap for this season. So I know there's at least basically 4 guys out there looking for or should be looking for teammates because they weren't able to keep the one from last season. So
that was Barker, Boydell,
Bowen, Anderson, Bowen, and Vern Hawkins.
Yeah,
but
so
I haven't been running Sundays, so I don't know if Bowen and Hawkins are still running. But
and before anybody asks, I'm not available. Sorry. So the Redneck Racers are alive and well. Me and Mike Cranmer. And we've fixed our paint up a little bit better this year. We got a little bit more duct tape on it, which was the inspiration for my Legends car the other night, and having a lot of fun with that. So old Mike and I have been hanging in there. We've finished 4th overall in the Constructors Championship. Like that should have been an award in itself, just for us outperforming ourselves. Like just outstanding performance.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mike.
Yeah.
You're awesome, buddy.
That's your participation trophy.
No way, buddy. I had a P10 that should have been a P5 at Mosport this year.
Yeah.
It's because of my own stupidity. But anyways, I blew up my one big chance of up near the front. But it's a good night. And we're at Belle Isle. So, all you got to do is just to contact Bill Calder and tell him you want to join the Roadrunners, because it is a separate league, because we have some guys dedicated to that. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, and we'll be at Belle Isle, and that's a fun course.
That is a fun track. That is
most tracks are free. That one is not. I'll be up front right now, but come out and join us. We have a good time. We're getting 20, 30 car counts, so there's always somebody to race. You're not just going around the track by yourself, and if you keep it clean, keep it on the track, you can do well. Mike and I proved that. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. Is that it? We wrap it up, or
one more thing, and I'm not going to get into it too much because Roger and I did not discuss this before we started. But you're going to want to keep an eye on the driver's communication page. I believe in the next day or so, It's probably today. If not today, it'll be out tomorrow. But there will be a change as it relates to penalties for intentional contact. So we're going to do a good write-up so that's easy to understand. But that's being changed just slightly. So just, again, keep an eye out for that. I think we need to finalize a couple of the things in the plan before I don't want to announce them here. It's better for it to be in writing anyway. But keep your eye on that. Again, shouldn't affect really anybody because it's only for intentional contact, which our zero tolerance policy will not go away for that. It's just being tweaked. But again, you want to make sure you're aware of that. And in saying that, one thing that we're going to start experimenting on, there will be at some point in probably the next week or two, I will be adding another text channel to our Discord. So we will continue to use Facebook for announcements and such, just as we are now, but we're going to attempt to duplicate them in Discord as well. We understand that Facebook can be a little bit unreliable in seeing posts because when your timeline does not necessarily show you content in chronological order. And when sometimes you see stuff and sometimes you don't. I mean, I'm an admin for the page, and I don't always see posts. There have been some embarrassing moments where I've been in a race adminning and I say something and then Roger has to come across and correct me because I missed a post. So we're trying to correct that as much as possible. So what I would ask is I leave my Discord notifications off for the most part, but you can turn them on for individual channels. So we're going to ask you guys that to turn their notifications on for that single channel at least, and that way as those updates come out you will get a push notification so that you see them. Should help everybody out. I mean, we're not going to be posting there every day or hopefully even every week, so that'll make things a little bit easier when something does come out so nobody misses it. And if anybody has ideas, again, Discord is a little bit foreign to us. We typically it's been for our league, it's a race time, something we use when the race is going on, and then when the race is over, it's empty. And so that's changed some now that we store our fixed setups and stuff there. So there's definitely people out there that use it in different ways and understand it probably a little bit better than we do or what it's capable of. So if somebody wants to kind of assist with that or at least kind of, walk me through what might work and what might not, let us know, and because I'm be glad to have the conversation because and really still in the process of tidying it up as it is.
Yeah, so I'm one of those. I'm listening to you about the turn notifications on. So when we're finished this podcast, I got to go and make sure because I'm terrible. I'll see messages sent to me. I'm not a Discord guy other than race nights, and I'll come in and there's a message that's been there for like a week. Yeah, and I feel terrible, and I haven't replied. It's not that I was ignoring them; it's just I didn't even know it was there. It's
right.
Not an excuse. And throw this out again. We're still looking for a producer for this show.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested, Preston will train you along the way. And I don't think it's hard. It's just helping. It's just make sure everything goes smooth and we don't have any issues or trip at all. So
yeah, exactly.
There's that. Yeah. So want to congratulate Rita Taylor. She won the pick the podium challenge. So she gets a $20 Amazon gift card, and we're still waiting for names on the tip of my tongue. Waiting to the person that won the iRacing credits from first night.
Was it Lance Ripka?
Nope, it wasn't Lance.
Sorry, Lance.
Yeah, sorry, Lance. But it might be somebody on the same team as Lance. I'm not sure. Anyways, you got to claim that prize. Like, we're not just going to send it out to you. You got to show that you were paying attention somehow, or somebody on the team that we did that the draw live, and it's back on Facebook somewhere. But there's a $10 iRacing credit waiting for somebody.
Yeah,
so,
whoever that is.
Whoever that is.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. Like I said, I think we're just kind of falling into stride in the middle of the season, and things are starting to heat up. The hometown heroes, I know we talked about it a ton. The car turnouts have been awesome. just make sure you're in Discord. To get your interview, get your like Roger said, your 15 minutes of fame, or 15 seconds is probably closer to more accurate.
And make sure you get in early, because those sessions start early. Well, the one starts at 5 to 7. I might bump that up a bit, but there's only 45 cars allowed, and we had 41 or something like that for 305. So make sure you get in, or you might not get in. And then the second session typically starts. I open that session up at, I think, 1:45, 8. So as soon as the first one's done, Joe's switching over, and we're getting it out. We got it all done by 10 o'clock last week, that's pretty damn good. But the pro late models are coming to town. Anybody can join it. We got the regular crew and the regular standings, but if you haven't tried pro lates, you can give it a try. Just race with respect, and should be a good night. Everybody's eligible for everything that's run there. The only time it won't be is when we get into like Rebels, Renegades, and the Dirt Mods. But I'll talk more about that next week, because we're getting near the end of this. But what the plan is for that is, because it's an extra week. So say when the Renegades are running, normally we would have the top 10 transfer the race before. But because these are like midweek, what we're going to do is take the top 10 in the standings with an IL below 0.25 or 0.20 for the Renegades, or 0.2, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the same thing like with the A division. We will take the top 10 Bs and in the standings.
Yeah.
So just putting that word out, because I haven't really that's in my head, but I don't think I've ever said that anywhere. So
right. And just in case anybody's not clear, these are points races. So when Renegades runs Monday night, and then they run Cedar Lake on Wednesday night as well, it's a double header week basically, but they are full points races. So I mean, it's there to be taken advantage of.
Yes, and just on that, I still have to modify the schedule. So what's happening there is when the week of Memorial Day, we will be running I think we're running the previous tentatively right now, because you're just hearing it here first. It'd be like the Friday for a qualifier, Monday night for a qualifier, and then the championships on the Thursday. And we're thinking right now, I mean, this is a work in progress, it would be fixed 358s and open 360s. But that's a matter of conjecture. I haven't updated the schedule. Right now it shows Renegades running, Raiders running, the Mod A and Mod B running, but they won't. And Pro Late Models and Midgets. They all have a night at Cedar Lake, and that's kind of their makeup week for their drop week when we run the
charity
which is for a great cause. So
Yeah. So you were saying this Wednesday the 8 o'clock race is the Pro Late Models. So that's a points race for the Pro Late Model Series, and then 9 o'clock is a street stock enduro. Correct?
Is that this week? I thought we still had the.
I think this week is a street stock enduro at 9 o'clock.
There you go, folks. So much on schedule, I can't keep track of it. So I'm just as we're talking here, I'm madly trying to get my schedule up, and it's so easy to get to. If you go to gforcerl.com, it's easy to get to the schedule, folks. I'm telling you. And we looked late models. Street stock enduros. I got to be promoting that, man. You're right. The street stocks show up, and it's no holds barred. So we haven't finalized that yet, but Preston, I'm just talking off the top of my head, but unlimited incidents, unlimited free fixes, and it's just go. No cautions, 75 laps, and get your frustrations out. If there's somebody, that rival that is really a rival, here's your chance. It's there'll be no protest. It's just going to be let her go. So, anyways, I didn't realize. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yep.
Man, I got to get on top of this stuff.
So
I keep telling everybody to pay attention.
Now, and I will say, so every week the Hometown Heroes is supposed to be unique or special in some way, shape, or fashion. But this week is really big because it's going to be. Yeah. I mean, Pro Lates will be put on a great show, and then it's going to just unleash the chaos. Like it's going to.
Oh yeah.
If you're not racing, you don't want to miss watching. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. So it'll just be like a qualifying, and then we go. No heats, nothing like that. 75 laps, and let's get that. We've had great car counts. Let's get it for this one, and just bring the right attitude. Check the ego at the door, because we're just out for a good time, and then maybe we'll put up some sort of a prize. See if Lane Snook can win that one. Because I'm telling you, if I see him on the track, I'm taking him out. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm taking out Lane. And yeah, so it's all good, and it should be good and they'll be back one more time. And the other one too is we're going to have a demolition derby later in the season, and I still don't know how to run that. So I'm looking for tips. I got to put the word out on a few of the Facebook sites and iRacing. What do you call it? Their forums. Just how people run these before, because I am looking for tips, the best method to run a demolition derby. But we got a variation of a demolition derby coming up this Wednesday night. That's for sure.
I was going to say, I think if we went back and just reviewed our settings from the street stock division the past couple of seasons, it's a good place to start.
It is. We've complained about the street stocks, and it's but now this is. Now we're asking for it.
Yeah,
so,
they're going to be right in their element this time.
Yeah, and I'll give a plug here right now. That if people love racing street stocks, the Supreme Sim Racing guys run a league on Sunday nights. If you're interested, contact one of the Shaws. There's 4 of them, so there's somebody you can contact there, and there's a bunch of other guys. But there's they're running that. But this is our version of street stocks, and like you say, it's not going to be much different than what we saw last season.
That's right.
It should all be good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we close with that, because now you got me all pumped about the enduros. I totally missed that.
Well,
I'm so thick.
You got to go practice, because that's the thing in an enduro like that. Now, and I do have a question about this. So before we go, and we can go right after, with in an enduro with no heats, qualifying is absolutely important, because if you can start towards the front, it at least gives you an advantage until you catch lap cars. So,
it gives you an advantage for 10 laps, maybe.
Right. So getting some practice in the street stocks at Cedar Creek would not be a terrible idea. But my question is, how many cars can Cedar Lake take at one time? Because if it's a 45 car limit and it's only qualifying, is anybody going home, or are you stacking 45 cars on the track?
No, you know what? For that race, I'm putting it up to 60. If it'll take 60, we'll put 60 cars on the track. And just and Joe, get a lot of sleep the night before, because you got to keep track of this. You got to keep track of who's in the lead, because it's just going to be nuts, man.
Yeah.
It's just going to. I know the Ashweekend ran a whole bunch of stuff that I helped set up for him last spring, I guess it was.
Yeah.
And we did some enduros, and yeah, I think we've run an enduro too. It's a great sport.
I ran in one of theirs. It was a 100-lap enduro at Knoxville, and it was just chaos. Like, everybody started out wanting to win, and I think you got about 10 laps in, and guys were just belly laughing so hard, like it just ended up not being quite as serious.
Well, the announcers were losing it and everything else at that race, so it should be a good time. We're really looking forward to it. So, might be a good way to close out this show is. Because now I gotta go start promoting this thing, because I was all hung up on the Lynn's Huggables and stuff and trying to figure out that draw and get a form made, and now I got to figure out how to promote Duro, because they're fun. And you know what? I think the big part of it is because our league, it really is a community. Everybody knows each other, so it's not like you're just hitting strangers.
Right. Right.
I'm looking for you, buddy. I'm out to get the 07. That's my number one. I'm gonna create a list. I hope Joe Backus shows up.
Yeah.
I'll be out to get him. C2C guys, I'm telling you now, you're on warning. I'm coming for you.
So no team loyalty whatsoever.
No team loyalty. No, there's none here. Some other teams might, but I'm turning on my guys. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess I'll have to practice turning guys too. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think I might show up with the old beer can paint, because it would hurt my feelings to be screwing up an Epsilon Sprint Wraps rig. So I'm going to come back maybe with the old beer can, and it'll be crumpled by the end of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. This is the perfect race if you want to knock a couple of back right before we start. The Enduro is a pretty good place to start. Not that I advocate drinking and driving or anything like that.
No.
But this seems like a safe venue. So.
But we'll have a couple of kegs at the drivers' meeting before the race.
There you go. Yeah, this is the Hometown Heroes Kegger and Enduro. So that's how we'll brand this one. All right, guys.
There you go.
Well,
Okay.
Roger and I are going to sit here and talk forever if we don't go ahead and tell ourselves
Yeah.
to shut up. So we appreciate you watching it. As always, we'll be back again here with episode 29 next week. And if anybody is interested in coming on the podcast who hadn't been here, contact me this week, and we'll see what we can do.
So I already got a guest for next week.
Never
I
mind.
haven't even told you about it. I was going to announce it, and then I thought you don't even know. So, but we're going to go from one extreme to another. We had Lane Snook on, and next week at least one guest is going to be significantly older than Lane.
Okay.
No,
We'll leave it at that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there
you guys can, I guess, try to guess who the old is that's going to be coming on the show. And we'll see you back here next week.